Hi everyone, my name is Brandy Keeler, Assistant Director of Admissions at the College for Creative Studies, or CCS, which is a private accredited art and design college located in Detroit, Michigan. At CCS, we help students with an interest in art or design get an amazing education that will grow their passion and elevate their talents to become world-class creative leaders. According to the Animation Career Review, CCS is one of the #1 colleges for animation and illustration in the state of Michigan, and we're one of the top 10 schools for animation and illustration in the Midwest. We are also one of the few colleges in the world with a bachelor's degree program specifically dedicated to concept design. And all these reasons are why I'm super excited to share information and inspiration with you about careers in the field of animation and entertainment arts. If you've never heard the term entertainment arts before, it's simply referring to production artwork used in games, movies, and TV shows. It also describes art careers in Hollywood and the entertainment industry. Clearly, animation is a big part of this industry. I know on the screen here you're looking at student work and not work out there in the field by just using this to illustrate what all animators work on, right? Animation includes all forms of animated work like 2D traditional animation, 2D digital animation, 3D animation, stop motion animation, motion graphics, or alternative forms of experimental animation. But animation skill sets aren't only used on cartoons, which is why animation careers span a lot of different industries. Animation careers span the spectrum from live action movie production to visual effects and concept art. They span the spectrum from the gaming industry and 3D modeling to advertising and commercials that we see. We even see animation graduates or animation work being used in motion graphics or in the graphic design industry, right? Like you see in the bottom left hand of the screen here. There's a wide variety of careers for artists interested in motion, storytelling, and entertainment. And in order to paint a vivid picture of what these different careers could look like, I'll actually share some stories of graduates from CCS who are making waves in the animation and entertainment arts industry. And hopefully that'll give you some ideas of what you may be interested in. When Chris Houghton first left CCS, he worked as a freelance cartoonist and animator and storyboard director at Nickelodeon and Disney on series like Gravity Falls, Harvey Beaks, and Kirby Buckets. Now he's doing the exact same thing, but for his own animated kids series, Big City Greens, which airs on the Disney Channel. He created the show with his brother Shane and his wife Cassandra, who is another CCS alum.
I've got a hair emergency!
Yeah, that's great. Let's do line 62 and give me some real stank on it, you know? Get that real full confidence.
I may not have the topping you all know and love, but I am full of the same kapowie jelly I've always had. Cut me open and it'll all flow out!
Yeah, that's great.
Working on Big City Greens is just surreal. You know, my brother and I created the show, and we get to go into work every day and work with this amazing team that we've assembled and really try to do everything in our power to make funny cartoons. It's pretty amazing to see this show grow from being sketches in my sketchbook and ideas that Shane and I would pitch back to each other. You know, it's finally become something huge. We always wanted to create something that was bigger than ourselves, and at Disney we've been able to do that.
Y'all better get used to this view, because this little country boy just got cast for a big city commercial. And it's all because I got kapowie.
Kapowie? Better put some ointment on that.
So yeah, I work with my brother every day, and we're kind of tied at the hip. And then my wife is also our show's color supervisor. So it's a real family affair. My wife and I met at CCS and got married right after school.
I actually started working on the pilot and development of Big City Greens with my husband Chris and his brother Shane. What I love most about working on Big City Greens is, I guess, creating a world, a whole city, painting it and coloring it. I like how the city is created of many different cities, so there's not really one city you can say it is.
I really like voicing cricket, we'll say that. That's a lot of fun. and I get to kind of go off in my own world for, an hour and a half each week, and it's just me and my brother, and I get to record the main character of this TV series, which is just bizarre. Again, surreal.
That sounded good. You want to give me just one more?
Okay, bye, Gloria. Well, I could just jump right over the moon. Cricket Green, a star.
Great. Now be back here by 5 p.m. to shoot the commercial. And be camera ready.
You kidding me? This Kapowie's always camera ready.
Every day I kind of feel 12 emotions by the time I go home. Certain weeks I get to Friday and I'm just crawling. Other weeks I feel like I'm invincible and I can never be stopped. The fact that we've now written over 100 episodes, we've made a ton of shorts, we have ideas for more things in the future. I'm just so proud that we've been able to do that and build this amazing crew of super talented artists and writers, and we just want to see how far we can take this thing.
World-famous creative concept artist and designer Tim Flattery, who happens to be the department chair of entertainment arts at CCS, also graduated from the school with a degree in transportation design. Not a likely field, but his design skills have led him to working with leading film directors like Steven Spielberg and Tim Burton on more than 40 films over almost 30 years. He has supervised full-size construction of the Batmobile for Batman Forever and the Fantastic Car for Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's where that transportation design has come in. But he's worked on characters, environments, architecture, and hardware. And his film credits include movies like Men in Black 1 and 2, Hunger Games, Tomorrowland, Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers: Infinity War, and Avengers: Endgame, just to name a few.
Why is the Batmobile so important? Because it's an icon. It's its own character in each movie. It's become so iconic because of all the things it's capable of doing and how it supports Batman and his cause.
Out of all the superheroes, Batman is probably the most plausible. I think this warrants the car be made physically and brought into this reality and not CG.
There's a lot of challenges to designing something that's so familiar that so many people have so many opinions about and what it should be.
We noticed that the car had to be actually freakishly larger than an average car for presence.
That's every designer's dream, to do a Batmobile. I mean, there's only 6 Batmobiles out there, and I'm part of one of them. That's pretty cool. When you've designed something for a film, and a year later you go to the theater to watch the movie, and what you've conceptualized and gave birth to is there on the screen, it's very rewarding on a lot of different levels. Here at CCS, we're launching a concept design program, which will be housed in the Entertainment Arts Department. What a concept artist does is help visualize the script, whether it's in film or the game industry, and a lot of times in feature animation as well, and visual development. And by visualizing the script, the concept designer will take an area of the script that something might be described, whether it's a prop or architecture or environment, a character, and they'll articulate renderings, and from those renderings, those things will be built, whether it's in CG or physically built on a set. Starting this program up was something that I'm really passionate about because it's what I do for a living. I've been a concept artist in Hollywood for 29 years now, and it's something that I'm still intimate with, passionate about, and love teaching. The folks that are going to be teaching these classes will be high caliber concept artists that are currently working in the industry now. They'll be teaching remotely from the West Coast. They'll also be teaching here on campus at CCS. We have some of the most powerful computers and advanced equipment that students will be able to take advantage of. CCS is one of very few colleges in the world that offers a degree in concept design. This degree is going to dive deep into all the areas of concept design to prepare students. Between the in-depth curriculum, the high-profile and high-caliber faculty that are going to be teaching here, the unbelievable facilities that we have to offer, this degree program is unlike any other in the world.
Sarah Brownlee came to CCS from South Africa as an art practice major in 2010, but changed majors after watching a professor doing CGI, or computer-generated imagery, on a screen. Sarah now works in Detroit at Armstrong White as a CG artist. Prior to that, she worked in London as a build technical director for double negative visual effects. The first film she worked on was DC Films' Justice League in 2017, and recently she did work on the global blockbuster Black Panther. Now, you may not have heard of a build technical director before, but build technical directors, or build TDs, construct anything in a film that has to be made. It can be anything from trees to clothing to actual characters. When something is too expensive to shoot, they replicate it in CG, especially in the fantasy genre. But sometimes if something is not realistic, or there's no way to get that location, or that location doesn't exist, or with actors, if a stunt person can't perform the action, or if it's a difficult scene, that's when someone would call a build TD. And essentially they're producing objects that could be animated, right? Because animation can have its role in live action film. Next, I'll show you a movie or a quick video by CG generalist Matthew Dell and compositor Andre Empson, who do absolutely what they love at a visual effects company called Pixamondo.
My favorite part of this job is, as corny as it sounds, it's making cool stuff. Designing creatures, like, how cool is that? I go to work and it doesn't feel like work. It's a career. It's like your dream job,
I feel so blessed to be able to say that I live out here and I work out here doing something that I love and that I honestly feel like I shouldn't get paid to do. Being a visual effects company, we get the footage after everything has been shot, and we're expected to add to the footage. And there's a very multi-step process involved in that.
A regular workday for me here at Pixamondo, as a CG generalist, it would be lighting, rendering, texturing, creating assets for whatever show that we're working on at the time.
After these multiple step processes, it finally reaches compositing, and I bring together all of the footage, the lighting, the CGI, the texturing, the camera movement, and just bring it all together into one, and we try to make it seem seamless. The end goal is to make the director happy and the clients happy, and we're willing to do anything to do that.
The coolest project that I've worked on for sure has to be The Mandalorian. Big Star Wars fan growing up. I know when I heard we got the gig, I was very, very excited about it.
I fell in love with Star Wars very early on, and the fact that I could say that I actually contributed to one of their projects is unbelievable. My number one thing that I love in this industry is the opportunity and the potential that one could have, and it's limitless. It literally is limitless. You can go travel all around the world, get paid a tremendous amount of money. There's just endless opportunity, and I'm ready to take it all on.
Having all my work finally, in front of me and realizing that, this is something that I was a part of, it's very, very exciting. And just, going back home and showing all my friends, what I've worked on in the past few years, it feels pretty good.
I've worked very, very hard to get to this point at CCS. And the fact that just continuously pushing towards a certain goal, and it's a dream come true, honestly.
Tommy Scott studied illustration at CCS, but that didn't stop him from having an amazing animation career after graduating in 2010. In 2018, Tommy Scott was working as a background designer and concept artist and became an Emmy winner after working on the 3rd season of Rick and Morty. A cult favorite, the animated science fiction series won a 2018 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Animation Program for the 3rd episode of the season, called Pickle Rick. And like many of our alum, Tommy has done work for major production and animation studios like Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, Disney, Comedy Central, MTV, and many more. For the past 6 years, Dave Hardin has worked as a supervising animator at Walt Disney Studios. Previous to that, he was a senior character animator at DreamWorks Animation and Sony Pictures. His film credits include Frozen 2, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Moana, Zootopia, Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3, How to Train Your Dragon No. 2, The Croods, Rise of the Guardians, Puss in Boots, Open Season, and many, many more.
I grew up my whole life in Michigan. When I came out to California, I knew kind of what California was, a lot of sunshine, and I really find people out here a lot happier because it's so nice out all the time. You don't get snow here, you don't get to the fall as much, but 300 days of sunshine, you can't beat it, so. CCS, as you know, you work extremely hard. Everyone around me was so dedicated to what they were doing that it really pushed me. I worked all-nighters. Like, I would pull all-nighters to finish a project. You establish that work ethic of, okay, I'm gonna work, till 11 o'clock to make sure this is just right. The people that don't work that hours and they just go home at 6 o'clock every night, those are the people that can't handle an industry like this, I don't think. Because you need to have that motivation and you need to have that dedication to the craft. When I graduated from CCS, I spent the next 3 months animating, redoing my reel. I'm really happy I did that because after the summer was over in October, I applied to a lot of companies out here. Sony actually contacted me and I was offered the position to work on Open Season, which was an animated feature film. I was ecstatic. Now I'm here at DreamWorks and I started here last year and I'm a senior character animator. I'm currently working on Kung Fu Panda 2.
You guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
This company really spares no expense, and they just know how to make people happy here. The campus, they have everything here. They have game rooms, they have on-site medical clinics. They go all out. It's really just beautiful. If I go outside, it actually feels like you're getting off campus, so it doesn't really feel like you're at work anymore. It feels like a resort, It feels like, I can't believe I'm getting paid to be here. When I go home, I generally don't want to look at a computer. I look at this as like, okay, this is where I expel my creativity. I think I'll get burnt out if I do it too much. I go home and I try to go on hikes. Love beach volleyball. Like, that's one of the things I love about California. I love beach volleyball. So I try to spend a lot of time at the beach. It's really a rewarding feeling for how hard I worked in college. I love California. I don't think I ever want to leave.
2 CCS graduates were part of the creative teams that worked on the Academy Award-winning animated feature Frozen. Angela McBride, a graduate from our Entertainment Arts Department, worked as a lighting artist on the movie. Chuck Tappan actually majored in communications design or graphic design at CCS, but has worked at Disney Animation Studios for over 2 decades. He is currently a workflow developer. Chuck, who describes himself as a closet technologist, actually helped to develop much of the software Disney uses, including the paint system, the hair system, which you can actually see being used in the film Tangled, and the bidirectional reflectance distribution function, which defines how light reflects off surfaces. This was first seen used in Wreck-It Ralph. The look of Frozen was built on this foundation of technology that Chuck created. He actually has 4 patents for his animation software. When asked about how his training in graphic design prepared him for a career in animation, Chuck replied, "When I design systems and make art at Disney, I take the skills I garnered in college and my first job designing software and use them to develop new tools and ways of making art. I use those skills to better our ability to make great art." But again, it's important to note that not everything in the field of animation is about cartoons. Mark DeRitter has found success as a CGI animation director with Armstrong White. So he studied animation, but he actually works at a render house, which is located here in Michigan. And that render house creates photorealistic computer graphic images for the advertising industry. Working as a part of a small team, Mark often finds himself fulfilling several roles, working on tasks ranging from modeling to lighting to animation. His main responsibility is directing the animation for all of the motion work created by the firm, which includes computer-generated vehicles, characters, and cameras. And it's not just our alumni who are legends in the animation and entertainment arts industry, it's also our faculty who are actively working in the industry and bringing that knowledge to our students in the classroom. Take, for example, Steve Stanchfield. He's worked on animation and in animated film since 1991. He started professionally full-time as a traditional and digital animator at Media Station in 1993, working on CD-ROM games for Disney, Mattel, and many others, directing at the studio in 1996. This experience led to him working on the Warner Brothers feature Space Jam, as well as animation, storyboards, and direction on commercials, TV shows, games, and interactive websites. Steve also works on restoring classic animated films, working with UCLA Film and Television Archives, the Library of Congress, and the Museum of Modern Art, and others. I'd love to share a video of Steve talking about the importance of his work and how it relates to teaching his students in animation here at CCS.
Some of the projects that I've been working with right now involve films that were produced in the 1930s and 40s. Some of these are animated shorts. Some of them are a combination of animation and live action. Some of them are puppet films. Working with this very early color material is fascinating because we're dealing with the original nitrate negatives and master positives, and we're doing everything we can to do preservation on the material before it doesn't exist. I always feel like this is the beginning of a career for the students, in that it's a whole period of discovery. Maybe in that way, as an instructor, the most exciting thing to me is being able to show something to someone that they otherwise wouldn't have found, and then watching them light up. Once in a while, you're lucky enough to say the right thing on the right day that sparks someone's imagination or interest or direction. Nothing could be better than that for me.
And it's pretty awesome that Steve says there's nothing better than the impact that he has on students, especially since his list of clients include Warner Brothers, Disney, Universal, HBO, Turner Classic Movies, Funny or Die, the History Channel, and more. But it's probably why he has been an assistant professor at CCS since 2000. The chance to explore the range of human experience is a large part of what drew Melissa McCann, a former sociology major, to animation. When she discovered that she could take the journey at the College for Creative Studies, Melissa, who was also a CCS alumna, was sold. Quote, "I was always attracted to why people think the way they do or what influences them. So it seemed natural for me to go into character animation. I was drawing all the time in my sociology class, and it just got to the point where I asked myself, why am I here? Why am I not doing what I love?" End quote. And now Melissa McCann is an amazing faculty member at CCS teaching our animation students.
I think that it's nice to live in another world for a little while and get lost in that universe. You don't lose your imagination as an animator. You kind of go back to your childlike dreams and ambitions that you had. I think that when you grow up, you forget how fantastical things can be, and you kind of get to revisit that as an animator. I think it's great because you get to jump into different skins, and you also get to empathize and be with those people and those characters. Something that was just a thought or a concept has a personality and breadth to it. I think it's incredible.
As you can see, the opportunities for entertainment artists and animators are vast. Animation graduates can work as everything from animators to riggers, 3D modelers, visual effects artists, storyboard artists, texture painters, motion graphic artists, character artists, and much, much more. It's also helpful to know that people can have successful careers in the animation industry from other fields of study, like illustration, digital film, concept design, graphic design, game art, and more, right? So if you'd like to learn more about how CCS can help you pursue your interest in entertainment arts or animation careers, please check out our website at collegeforcreativestudies.edu or check out the other presentations that we're offering throughout this event. We'd love to talk with you about your future and the stories that you want to share with the world. Thanks for watching and stay creative.